So I think I mentioned in last episode I was going to get a different trailer to haul the trees because I didn't like the way I was loading the trailer I had. And then I was looking on the mod store for the game, and I noticed that they came out with a new truck that's got a loader built onto it, and I figured I'd give that a try. Now I'm just waiting for the ferry to cross here, so that way or the cargo ship, so that I can call the ferry over, so we can get back over to our landing to start cleaning trees up. But I figured I'd give it a try. I usually don't like the base game grapples. They don't seem to function properly, but I figured that maybe this one's different because it's a mod. It does seem that some grapples work better than others, so I'm curious as to if it will or not. We'll find out in a minute. I cleaned up the pile of logs a little bit from the last time. Try to straighten them up a little bit so that we can start over. I'm just going to back this out of the way, and then we can try loading some logs with that truck, and maybe I'll see if I can put this log here back up on the pile. Now, I know where I'm from, they don't have trucks. It's generally not just a truck and a trailer. People have trucks with loaders on them. So I will see here if it reaches the back, how that's going to play out. It's pretty close to being in the center of those bunks. I probably just won't be able to... I definitely won't be able to grab the logs in the center. I'll have to grab them a little off. We'll load the front of the trailer first, and then... Or I'll load at least some of it. That way I get a baseline as how far to put the logs back here, where they'll fit. But this is the real moment of truth here, if this is going to be usable or not. It's hard to tell because I do have a lot of logs stacked up here, so none of the game physics seem to like that. Whether it's a grapple or the logs floating through the air, but I'm hoping once I get this pile knocked down a little bit, everything will start working a little bit better. This is something that I never got in that forwarder mod video. You can see that lower log is attached for some reason. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna load the back up with the Tiger Cat, and I'm just gonna leave the crane out like that for now. That way the Outrakers are still out. Maybe it'll help stabilize it in case I knock into the side of the trailer with this. See, the problem I'm having there is this machine isn't meant for loading logs. The grapple doesn't tip enough. That's why I'm at such an angle when I'm running it. The grapple doesn't tip enough for me to tip down and set the logs in level from where I'm at. Let me see if I can get this camera angle here set up a little nicer. Maybe I can use this to straighten these out. Well, what's funny here, I figured out what I could do to load this trailer differently. I should have started with the back. The reason I was having trouble was because I couldn't get a log to lay on here flat. Now, if I had a log already on there, then I could have done it a little bit differently and set logs partly on here and then push them to the back. That way I could, when I loaded some other ones on, they wouldn't jam into these bunk rails here. And I could just slide them back, kind of like how I was doing there. I didn't have to reach all the way to the back to get them on there. This is a pretty clean load here. And when I said what's funny is I'm starting to understand, I think, why the base game equipment functions like it does. It does have its quirks, but this load on the back here is much cleaner, or the load on the front, I should say, is much cleaner than the load on the back here. It kind of makes me want to get a base game forwarder and give it a try again. The 48,000. One thing that is kind of annoying is that anytime I go to zoom out, I end up on the crane view, but not a whole lot I can do about that. Give this a try here, loading up this truck again, see how it goes now that I have an idea how to load the back up first. It might be a problem where I'm on not flat ground here. I'm not sure. We might have gotten enough logs out of here where it won't be too much of an issue. But then again, there's all the logs back here, so you never know. It could cause a problem for us. I think after I test this loading out, though, I might go and buy another forwarder. Well, round 2 worked a little bit better. I ran out of logs that I could reach. I'm just going to call that good for this load, though. Well, that's a disaster. For one, I forgot to strap all the logs in. And two, I came around this corner a little bit too fast here and rolled the truck over. That hasn't happened to me yet in this game. But this is a good time to take a look at the underneath of the truck. Wow, look at that. Pretty intricate designs. Just like that, flip back over. I'm not even going to do anything different. I just strapped the logs in. I'm gonna call that good. Let's give this a try here. One thing I wish is, I think I mentioned it before, is that the head camera rotated with the boom. Makes it a little difficult sometimes. Because I'd like to use this camera angle here, but I think I'm gonna have to use this angle because I can't see what's going on. I wanted so bad for this to work here, for it to be easy to use, just because I think it's so much cooler, but it just doesn't function the way I want it to. And I'm just gonna go back to the Timber Pro here, just as a comparison. I even bought it. That's how bad I wanted it to work. But I just end up making a mess with it. I mean, I just loaded that up so much quicker, so much less struggle. Anyway, I was planning on a little bit more of an eventful episode, but it kind of spiraled out of control. I ended up, the last minute, I decided to download that new log truck, test that out, and it worked okay. I think I'm gonna still end up having to use one of these machines here to load stuff. Maybe I'll get a different grapple for this. Maybe that'll help as far as making it easier to load that thing up. Let me see if there's, let's see what we got here for options. The dangle head here, the dangling clamp, that might be the one to use. That might be the easier option with that excavator, or I call it an excavator. I'm looking at excavator tools here. Might be easier to use with the Tiger Cat. As much as I wanted that forwarder to be quick, it just wasn't. It doesn't compare to the modded Timber Pro. So like I was saying, I wanted to get a little bit more cleanup here done. My plan was to get the tractor, buy a tractor, and clean this up, get all these logs cleaned up. But we did roll over a log truck. That was interesting. We'll just have to keep going next time. Thanks for watching.